Hey guys, how's everybody doing today? I got caught with my volume up. I don't know what that means. Hope everybody's doing a great day. Having a great day. Boy, this is off to a great start. Hope everybody's having a great day. Happy Monday to you. Hope your week is starting out great. Thank you guys for joining us. And we have a fun show tonight. We have the gang from NCI backstage. This is going to be a fun one. I was on their show, I don't know what, last year sometime, and we had a blast. I got to meet them in Townsend, Tennessee, when we were down there for the Bigfoot Festival, and they're a bunch of great guys. So we're going to bring them up here pretty soon. So just wanted to call and remind everybody this week. Saturday, I have BJ LaPier coming on. Going to have a really cool talk with her. She's had some really cool things happen to her, both at her house and through the phone. So it's been pretty cool. It'll be a pretty cool talk this coming Saturday. So make sure that you have your notifications turned on for that as well. We also have a bunch of things lined up later on in June. I believe it's June. I think it's June 24th, I believe. Our favorite medium, Jilly Maria, is coming back on. So she'll be doing readings and talking about whatever we want to talk about that night. So make sure that you're got that on your calendar so you can get a reading from Jilly. And she's pretty darn accurate. So without further ado, we are going to bring the guys up, starting with Randy. How you doing, sir?
Good. Thank you, sir, for having me on your show. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
No problem. Welcome. We have Rob. How you doing, Rob?
How you doing, pal?
I am fantastic. So glad you're here tonight. And we have, and I think this is mislabeled, but I can't get him on the stage now. There you are. Tim the Stud Muffin Dills. Hi, Tim.
He's a stud muffin.
George.
Hey, what's
going on, George? And Jerry is here as well. Thank you guys for coming on. Jerry, how you doing?
Good, sir. And you?
We're doing fantastic. Good to have you guys here. And you know what? It's one thing, like I've said to some of the guests that I've met in person and a lot of the people in chat that I've met in person. It's great seeing everybody on YouTube land or being on your show and seeing everybody in chat and stuff. But it's even better getting to meet you guys in person. Randy, I didn't have the pleasure of meeting you out there in Tennessee, but you guys, you four and Harley was there too. So it was great meeting you guys, shaking your hand and getting a little hug and everything. So it was good seeing you guys.
Good to see you too, man.
Yes, sir.
So I didn't tickle you though. I try not to tickle people when I first meet you.
Oh, there goes the show. No tickling.
Well, sometimes you can't help it with Rob. I mean, he just brings it on.
It would be funny if my hand would come through your screen over there.
Oh.
This is like the Brady Bunch. We need 3 more people.
Yeah, we do.
So
yet.
yeah, we probably could. So before we get going, you guys, NCI, are on channel 12. Any one of you guys tell us about channel 12 and what your show is. Randy.
Channel 12 TV network is the largest streaming TV show out there. We are all over the world. We're on Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV, Apple phone, Android TV, Android phone, and Chromecast. And we're now shooting shows out of England and Ireland. First show starts in England tomorrow, by the way. We're no contract, cancel any time. We have some great talk shows. We got some great movies, classic movies, cartoons. We have a little bit of everything for everybody. And it's only $9.99 a month, real cheap. Come on. That's less than a burger at McDonald's today. Get to watch the NCI guys who've always got some great stuff. Bigfoot, Dogman, Werewolves, Comedy Act on there. You name it, these guys are the best of the best. And because you got to meet them and see them on the field. So we got Tracy, the Paranormal White Witch, drinking and BS guys. We've got all kinds of shows and something for everybody. And classic movies, man. 1943 Batman, Beverly Hillbillies, Lone Ranger, old Dracula movies. And we got a new show started today, Tennessee Macabre. It's kind of like an Elvira, but it's a bunch of people. They're all dressed up in their scary stuff. And they show some of the old, good black and white horror movies. So that's what you want to catch on Channel 12 TV Network.
It's a hillbilly version of Elvira.
Yes. It's a hillbilly version of Elvira.
See, I'm picturing grandma on the back on the hillbillies dress up as Elvira, you know. I just
it's about that close. You're about that close. You're not too far off.
That's kind of ruined my my take on the hillbillies and Elvira, you know.
I was going to say, don't mess with Elvira. I've got to remember just like I like her. Don't mess with her.
She's a sweetheart. I've met her.
Grandma.
Yeah.
So Rob and George, you guys were the co-founders of NCI, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we are.
When did this start for you guys, and why did you want to do all this?
Go ahead, George.
You take it off, Rob.
All righty. I think it was 2023, wasn't it, George?
I think so.
George and I had been talking off and on for probably a year and a half on Facebook. Well, we got to working on being pretty good friends there, and there was a Bigfoot conference in Burnsville, North Carolina, and I told George I was going to be there, and he said, I'll just meet you. Well, I didn't know really and truly if he looked like his profile picture or not, because, you know, some people do and some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I came around the corner and met George, stood there and talked to him for about maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and it was lightning in a bottle. It was like we'd known one another for probably 15 or 20 years, like we'd been next door neighbors all of our life. Well, we got to talking, and he said, I'd like to go Bigfoot hunting. I said, we'll go. Well, we got to talking off and on, you know, make a long story short. He said, you want to do a podcast? I said, sure. He said, what are we going to call it? Well, at the time, we didn't think. It didn't dawn on us. We were once called NCIS, North Carolina Investigates Sasquatch. Well, when George found a producer, which was Eric Couillard down in South Carolina, we got to noticing every time anybody pulled up NCIS, it was shoving us at the bottom of the barrel. Jethro Gibbs and Abby was popping up, taking her place. We said, we can't have this. We're going to have to change it. So we shortened it down to NCI. And then after Eric passed away, a couple months later, George gives me a call and he said, I've got an idea. I said, what's that? He said, do you mind if Randy takes Eric's place? I said, well, we'll give it a shot. Well, we started that, and it was lightning in a bottle, and we started going out on our own. We recruited Tim. We recruited Jerry. At one point in time, we had Harley Owens with us. And it's been a magic carpet lightning ride ever since. Couldn't ask for any better. These guys, I would trust them with anything. You could, in the woods, you can look at the other one and tell what the other one's thinking. You don't have nothing to worry about. Everybody, whether it's in the woods or anywhere, we've always got each other's back.
That's right. These guys it's an honor to be with all of them. They're fantastic.
Yes, it is.
And it's very rare to find, 4 or 5 guys, whatever, that you all get along so well and you all are so good at what you guys do.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
We try hard.
So, Tim, when I met you, or when I met you guys in Townsend, you were showing me all kinds of pictures that you guys had from your. Do you have one thing that is maybe your favorite piece of evidence that you have that you just can't believe that you got?
I guess it would be. I guess I'd have to go with the one that George says is his favorite. It's the one, and the reason is it was the first, not the first one I ever saw, but it's the first one that we ever got a picture of. And that's the one that it was peeking out of it was in an old growed up clear cut, and it had got behind a big berm of dirt, and all you could see was its head. And there's a big bright green leaf across its forehead, and you can see its eyes and the bridge of its nose. And I guess that one followed us a mile and a half into our research area and back out. So I would say that's probably my favorite. Yeah, I'm sort of tossed between that and the one that took the raccoon out of the traps. And I've got that same picture. So, but that I'll go with George's favorite. So
I think we're on both of those, Tim. I'm the same way you are, brother.
Okay.
Those are good pictures.
You had mentioned, and you showed me the pictures of the raccoon in the trap.
uh-huh.
You would happen to have that picture handy, would you?
Yeah, I should have it on my computer.
By the way, Paul.
Share that on your screen. Hello.
By the way, the show started with 2 people. We are now 11 strong.
Damn.
Yeah, we recruited several other people, and we brought like Randy's grandson on here. We have the 13-year-old who is going to have his own show. We have Brian Sawyer up in Michigan.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
And you know, it's with having the kids involved in this, it's so important that I'm not saying anybody is old or anything. It's just important to bring those. I mean, I am talking straight to you, George. No. What I'm trying to say is it's important to have these
somebody
kids.
thought he was older than me. Thank you.
I know him better than you. That I know you, Randy. But
you know, me with it.
Okay. But you know, it's nice to have the young kids coming up and following in your footsteps, and just maybe one day just pick up where you guys leave off if you guys decide to hang it up at any time soon.
Yeah, and he's a sharp kid. I gotta give him credit. He really is. And having Jerry over there, man, he's been fantastic. We got to see our first good kill sites over at Jerry's area. It's an incredible kill site. You'd get a kick out of it. Especially the deer carcass up in the tree.
Okay. Awesome. I see Tim's got those pictures loading up. So Jerry, where's your site that they're talking about?
About 1.5 kilometers from my backyard, and I live near the South Mountains mountain range in upper northwest Cleveland County, North Carolina, which we're in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. Okay. And I'm fortunate. I live in an area, and I share that area with other things.
So you have activity pretty darn close to your house.
Yeah, I got a video the night before last, Saturday night, from here in my pasture. I distributed it to my teammates here. I want them to take a look at it. I didn't realize I was filming something because I was focusing on the wrong area. And I'll send the link to you, Paul. But that was Saturday night, and I think that the fact that they're doing work in our creek, it's a major creek here in Cleveland County called Ward's Creek, and they're actually sending these deep woods timber clearers down the creek to unclog all the log jams. And I hadn't even had a chance to talk to my teammates about this, but I think that they're stirring the creatures up.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have an NCI exclusive right here.
You do.
We're having an NCI meeting right here, right now. Who just popped in? Somebody just popped in. Oh my God.
God's here.
Yes.
Greg.
Mr. Greg Ogles is here. How you doing, sir?
Okay, I'm not as medicated as I have been, so doing well.
That's
What's
He's
good.
up,
one of
buddy?
our new recruits.
New recruits.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, he's now a
Yeah.
member of NCI.
Couldn't get anybody better, huh? You just had
No, they're let anybody in.
They let anybody into that.
Yeah, they'll
So
let
you're
in.
saying I have a chance?
You have,
You
a,
have a
chance.
chance,
You have a
sir.
chance.
For $500, we'll give you a chance.
So close. I'm about $499 short.
I was going to say I owe somebody something because I ain't put it down.
So Jerry, I mean, with how long have they been so close to your property, so close to your house?
Well, I moved here in the summer of 2013, and I immediately, because I'm a guy that stays in woods, I immediately hit these woods, and I started finding a number of tree breaks, and occasionally hearing a wood knock or a vocalization. And honestly, I just didn't pay it much attention. But then in 2017, in August of 2017, my wife and I actually saw one. And that's when the bug bit me, and I really I dove into it head first, and I was kind of on my own forever, just flailing because I didn't know what I was doing. And then these guys let me hook up with them, and they've already taught me so much.
Okay, awesome. I've learned that I'm writing questions down because I want to get to those here in just a second. But Tim, you have these the images on here. Does it matter what order we go in? I see there's 10, 14, and 12.
If you go with the one, let me back out and where I can see it. See, you want to go with 12 first.
12 is first. Naturally.
Yes, sir.
12. I got to figure out how to get there. We go. Okay. So here is number 12.
And if you look you can see the raccoon sitting inside that trap. You can actually see its eyes shining.
Yeah. And there's a raccoon outside the trap, probably making fun of his friend that, hey, you got stuck. And and so that trap, how easy is it to open?
It's not. I had the door weighted, and the way that I built it, you had to have fingers to reach inside and lift the locking mechanism on it. I mean, without fingers, you can't get it unlocked. So, it was actually meant for coyotes. And what we would do is, the way I had it locked was so that we would shoot the coyote in the trap and then unlock it and drag the coyote out. And, but it kept getting tripped with nothing in it, and we couldn't figure out what was going on. That's the reason we put the trail camera on it.
And is this on your property, or is this just a place where you guys investigate?
This was actually on my buddy's property. He's passed away now. This is the property that I actually got started squatching on.
Okay. All right. And so which one next? 14?
Number 14, yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the same camera, hasn't moved or anything, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you could see the trap behind it.
Uh-huh. And that trap is about 20, 25 feet from the camera.
And whatever is in front of this knows that it's a camera that's probably recording.
Yeah, I think they do, because our cameras would come up with blank pictures on them, and we couldn't figure out what was going on. And luckily, this one screwed up enough to let us find out that it was standing so close to it that they don't register, and that's how you get your corrupt files or your blank pictures on them.
And now how far apart were these two pictures in time?
The the first one was it's at the bottom of you can see it marked on the trail cam. I think it was like 1237.
Let's see if I can take this off. There we go.
The first one was at 1237, I think.
342.
342. This one here is 1237. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this one is. Come on. There we go. 342.
Yes, sir.
So that is something clearly blocking the camera.
Uh-huh.
And then the third one.
It's the coon's gone out of the trap. And if you look at the time, it's the same minute of 342. So while something was blocking that camera, something else had to go get the coon out of the trap.
So was there any damage to the trap at all?
Yeah, actually, I used 90-pound braided fishing line to tie the trigger to it. It had been broke. The trigger had been pulled out. The treadle that goes across it that they step on to make it release the door, it was turned over completely backwards, and all the leaves and everything was pulled to the front of it.
Wow. And there's no audio on these things, is there?
No, sir.
That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, it would have been.
But holy cow, what do you think happened to it?
Well, from being on, having my very first encounter on that property was hearing one kill a raccoon. And then it started whistling. So I just figured that they had watched us enough to know how that trap worked, because, like I said, it had been tripped probably a half a dozen times, and we couldn't figure out why we wasn't catching nothing in it. That's the reason we put the trail cam on it, so we could see if the door wasn't closing fast enough, if they was, what was going on as to why we didn't have nothing in it. So the only thing I can figure is something with hands had to take the raccoon out of the trap, and a Bigfoot's the only thing I know that's got hands.
Yeah. Besides
people, but you're talking, this is behind a lot Forest Service gate on 86 acres of private property. So I very seriously doubt anybody was in there, or they would have been on our other trail cameras.
So the second and third image that you showed was less than a minute apart.
Mm-hmm.
How easy is it for you to go in and open that trap?
It was easy for me because I know where the locking mechanism is. You just have to reach inside and take your fingers. I cut a groove across the 2x4 for the door to slide down about that wide, and put the locking mechanism that go over top of it over on the side, so I could reach my hand in, push it up, and then pull the gate up on it.
What were you, when he showed you guys this, what was your reaction to all this stuff? I mean, this is pretty amazing.
They're smart.
They are.
Highly intelligent creatures.
Also on that same trail camera, we've got mountain line. You can see the back of a mountain line that goes in front of the trail camera, but it wasn't tore up. You know what I mean? None of the wire on it was messed up where a bear would have got it or anything would have went in to get it out without lifting the door.
All right. And you didn't find any footprints or anything?
No, that area, it's mostly red clay, so it's packed hard.
Mm-hmm.
And about the only thing that you can see is where they reached in and raked everything to the front of the trap.
Wow. Okay. Jerry, I got that picture that you sent me. I'm trying to figure out how to get that on StreamYard here, since I'm not on my computer to do it, but I'll give it a shot. But while I'm doing that, let's kind of go around here. And the one question that I'm very interested in all the time when I have guests on, especially the ones that have been doing this for quite a while, what got you into this? What made you believe in Bigfoot, and what made you, even want to start investigating it? And that could be kind of a risky deal. But what made you guys want to do this?
Go ahead, Randy.
Oh, okay. Now, my first experience with Bigfoot was when I was like 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So since I've been 5, I've had several encounters with Bigfoot, seeing him, hearing him, having him talk to me, as a kid. And as I got older, of course, you tell people and they think you're nuts. So you don't really talk about it much. And then one day I was at the radio station and a guy said to me, he goes, "Would you like to come on Sasquatch radio and tell your story?" And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay, well, now all the world knows who listens to the radio." So 2016, I got into this hot and heavy and started doing my homework on Bigfoot and stuff like that. My last encounter was in 2016 in Tennessee, and it's been not looking back ever since. And, to meet up with these guys, doing a radio show, doing a TV show, anything these guys do, these guys are the ultimate trackers, hunters, and I couldn't ask for a bunch of better guys to be with or even to do shows with. It's a family thing, and answers I don't have, they help me with. Answers they may not. We work as a team because nobody's an expert. And that's how I got started into this.
Rob?
Well, I guess what really truly got me started was the first one that I ever saw in 2019. Prior to that, I'd been hearing stories off and on, and I thought, like everybody else, Bluff Creek, Oregon, Canada, Alaska, that's where something like that would be at. And then 2019, me and 2 other guys, we went into an area just basically doing recon. And that's when I saw my first 2, and the bug bit. And it's been a steamroller ever since. I mean, the more I learn and the more I know, the more I want to know. And with these guys here, sky's the limit.
Yeah. Jerry?
It's kind of a 2-part process. When I was a kid, just like so many other people, my granddaddy took me to see the movie Legend of Boggy Creek. And that ignited the same thing in me. George got bit by that bug. I don't know how many of you guys got bit by the Legend of Boggy Creek bug, but I did. And then I bought a book at a book fair at school in 1977 called Bigfoot by B. Ann Slate and Alan Berry, and I read that thing 15 times. But it was just I was highly interested in it, and I never dreamed that I would wind up living in a place like I live now. And then, as I said earlier, in August of 2017, when my wife and I saw one, that took it from being more of an entertainment thing to being a quest, a quest for answers.
George?
Well, like you said, Legend of Boggy Creek got me hooked. I've been a Bigfoot fan ever since then. I read everything I could get my hands on about Bigfoot, started studying everything about him, and then hooked up with Rob to start researching. And last January, Rob?
I believe it was.
Last year, 2024. We went to East Tennessee, hooked up with Harley over there, and seen my first one. And since then, I've seen 4 more.
Really? Tim?
Being on my buddy's property, hearing that one, we was actually up in the loft of his cabin trying to shoot a wild hog that was rooting his yard up. And we was up there the first evening, and 3 raccoons come out just playing around, feeding around in the yard. And they took off and run back into the thicket, actually close to where that trap is. And something grabbed one of them and roared real big. And I looked at my buddy and I told him, I said, that ain't normal, not for around here. And then it started whistling. And I knew that it wasn't anything that I knew was in these woods. I've seen the black panthers. I've seen the mountain lions. I've seen the red wolf we have here in the county that I live in. That was in 2008. And that just started, that was the first encounter. And then after that, being on his property, we just started having more and more encounters. And I've just not quit ever since.
Mr. Moist?
Drugs, hallucinogens. Yeah, mostly just drugs. No, I got into it as a hobby. Didn't have an encounter until after I'd started filming and stuff, and just love what I do. Love bringing good stories to everybody, and been fortunate enough to have several encounters. And it's more than just Bigfoot out there; it's a whole lot of things. And it's been a ride opening up my mind.
Mm-hmm. That's what I love about having Greg on. He's so brutally honest. Drugs. Yeah. Yeah.
What's that?
You're really looking at a mouse, but you're on so much. It's huge. Oh my God.
Yeah.
By the way, make sure that you go and check out Greg's movies. What?
Both of them. Yeah, and don't look at a beaver.
What did you say?
Don't look at a beaver. I'm going to leave it at that.
So
this show's going down real quick.
I got nothing on that one. Nothing that I could. Yeah,
hey, put the rated R sign up. Soon to be X here.
Nothing for the little snappy comebacks.
Okay.
Greg, you stumped the host. Right?
No kidding. No kidding.
That's always my quest.
Yeah. Let's see if this timeout thing works again. Still,
works well on our show.
Yeah,
I spend a lot of time there.
Yeah. Well, I've only done that one time on a guest, and that was when he was being a complete jerk. And I would never do that to Greg because he's not a jerk.
I must be the jerk because he done it to me 15 minutes ago.
That's right, I did.
Whoa! Just slap the host there.
And we're going to take a quick break while I regain my composure.
Well,
I didn't mean to disrail this whole thing.
I know.
We won't be on this show again, guys.
It was on the. It is my fault, Randy. I'll take the whole blame for it.
It is not.
It was on the straight and narrow until I showed up.
No, you know better than that, Greg.
Oh,
actually, you know what? It was. No, I'm kidding. So let's talk about some of the experiences that you guys have had as a group. You're right, Natalie, spiraling quickly. And I'm trying to that you guys have had as a group together. What kind of comes to mind when you guys are going out investigating? Yeah, Greg saw it too.
Go ahead, Tim.
Well, we've had a lot of stuff actually happen, but the one thing that gets me is hearing the metallic sounds.
Yeah.
Me and Georgia happened to be by herself on that day, but hearing a metallic sound that sounded like beating a pot with a wood spoon right after we heard one yell, and actually on our way back. And then George getting hit inside the head with some kind of sound. I don't know if it was infrasound or whatever, but I actually heard it and thought he was falling. That's the one that still bothers me, is I want to know what that metallic sound is.
Yeah.
I've been bluff charged, not with these guys, but even being bluff charged, who cares? That's like being bluff charged by a bear. You don't pay it no attention. I want to know what that metallic sound is.
Yeah, that's about to drive both of us crazy on that one.
Mm-hmm.
We heard it twice in one day.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where was this at?
In my research area in Standing Indian
Over
in Franklin, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what the weird thing was, we just got out of the truck. We go, what, 20 feet up past the truck, past the gate?
Mm-hmm.
And we heard Cody starting raising King. Then we heard that yell. Then we heard that metallic sound. Or the metallic sound, then the yell.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was yell and then the metallic sound.
Yeah. And then we went up, we did what we was doing, come back, we heard it again when we was back there, but in a different area.
Mm-hmm. It was actually on the other side of the ridge.
Yeah.
When we heard it, it was under the clear cut, and when we heard it coming back, it was on the side of the mountain, where actually across the creek from where our cameras and audio recorder is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead,
So-
Paul. Show that. That's where that metallic sound comes from.
Oh, that was you that put that on there. I thought it was okay. I did.
Go ahead, show it.
I saw a lady dancing. I'm like, what? What's this?
Don't share that. Just play it.
Randy, quit putting your girlfriend up there.
I've changed my mind. I don't want to find that metallic sound no more.
Oddly enough, that's what Natalie was doing when I found her.
Okay.
Paul, that's what I tell them when they say, well, they're looking for that metallic sound. I play that for them. I just thought I'd share that with your audience.
Yeah, you think they're going to get away from this?
Yeah. Gary, how do you keep these guys in line?
Well, thought it was that they was keeping me in line.
Okay, I don't know where to go from here.
We'll let Jerry tell his story. How's that sound?
Jerry, the floor is yours. You know what? Let's get Jerry. Save me here, please.
Oh, for the video from Saturday. Is that what we're talking about?
Whatever
Yes.
you want to talk about.
Because I forgot the original question. All right.
So did I. I don't know that there was an original question. That
What it was? What is some of our best evidence we've got together?
and you mentioned the your Saturday video.
Well, had the occasion. The first time I got to go out, Rob was sick, so he didn't get to go with us. But George and Tim came to my place here, and I took them into an area where we had previously found some kills that are obviously not attributable to any bear or being shot by a hunter, and certainly not hit by a car out in the middle of the wilderness. You're talking about crushed and broken and fractured ribs, broken necks, legs pulled off. We had one deer carcass that had the legs pulled off. The front legs were pulled off, but were still attached to one another. And the day that George and Tim came, we came across a kill that I previously had not seen. and it had one of its legs. George, I believe it was a hind leg, wasn't it, that was snapped?
I think so.
And it was cleanly snapped. I'm not a rocket scientist, but I do know an intentional fracture when I see one, and it's my opinion that they'll grab these deer and they'll subdue them the best way that they can, and they may break a limb so that it'll take some of the fight out of them and then break their neck. And that same carcass, its neck was twisted in an ungodly way.
Really?
And we found that same day a deer carcass that I had previously found. We got there and I said, well, shoot, half of it's missing. And come to find out, it was right above our head in a tree about 7.5 feet up. And the jawbone was hanging on the limb of a tree, and it was about head level, maybe a little taller. Then the day that I went with these guys deep into the North Carolina mountains over there in Tim's neck of the woods, it wasn't necessarily evidence, but it's always going to be it is evidence actually, but it's going to be a memory with me always. George and I had split off, and he was taking me to show me an area. I believe it was a bedding area, George. Is that right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, George looks over at me and says, we got to get out of here. And I'll let George take it from there. But I saw his eyes, and I wasn't asking him no questions. I was going to be on him, right behind him. And we got out of there.
Yeah. Well, we were walking up the hill. That's where I seen my first little one. So we went up to investigate, because up above where we were at, there was a bedding area and another area. So we walked, me and Jerry was walking up through there, and the bedding area was kind of messed up, but the other area looked like it had been just ripped down. We were looking, and we took about 2 steps, and something told me to stop and turn around and leave. And it was like you put a hand against my chest and pushed me back. And all the hair on my arm stood up. I said, Jerry, we got to go. We don't need to go no farther. So
do you think that was something that was actually watching you and just, getting you out of there?
I think so, because that was the same place when I'd seen that little one. That was the same place we got growled at. And when she growled at us, you could feel it more than you could hear it. I mean, it just vibrated your chest and your eyes and everything when she growled. And I pulled up off the hill that day too. But wow. It was interesting, because that thing was about 3.5, 4 foot, and it was going up that hill. I mean, I only seen it for just a couple of seconds, but it was moving. And it went up that hill faster than I could ever run up it, that's for sure. And it dropped down on all fours and disappeared. So when we went up to investigate it the first time, so when we got the growl out, then me and Jerry went the second time and checked it out. That's when it was time to go. Because something didn't want us there, and I wasn't going to argue with it. I don't think my 57 was big enough.
No, I don't think, if they don't want you around, I think it's best to, and I've never gone Sasquatching before, so I don't know what, if this is really true or not, but if something doesn't want you there, you get the hell out of there.
Yeah, and we've always went with our gut feeling. If our gut feeling says not to do something, we don't do it, because that's usually our best bet to keep ourselves alive.
And one thing that Jerry was talking about, that deer that had the back leg broke, some people may not know, you can rip a deer's front leg off and it can still run, because they're not actually joined by bone. They're joined by muscle and all of that stuff. And but the back legs are the ones that are actually joined by bone and got hip sockets, sort of like humans do. But I've actually shot them in the front leg and break their front leg, and they still run on 3 legs. And so I think that's the reason that they break their back legs like they did at Jerry's, because then it can't run.
Well, the thing about it with Jerry's too is what we found, an area that was the perfect ambush area. They had a field down below us where the deer would come in and eat. Then they had a gully wore out that come up with logs on both sides of it, like a trough, like you want to run something up a trough. and it come up to an area where they had made for ambush. They had laid everything out to where the deer had to come through there, and it was perfect. It was a perfect layout that they had done. So when they run the deer out of that field down there, they come right up to them.
Wow.
I actually have the footage of that.
Yeah.
Of what Jerry had, or the
What George just said.
Okay.
Of the ambush area.
Yeah.
It's not like that woman again, is it?
No.
No.
Man.
That woman just screwed his mind over.
It did. I know. I'm gonna have nightmares about that thing. I mean, Tim, you mentioned George, you mentioned following your gut on this thing, or one of you two mentioned following your gut on this thing, and I mean that's just so true. No matter where you're at. Yeah, that's okay.
One of my areas I couldn't go into for over a year. Every time I would start to go in, I would get physically sick.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that is that just somebody or something messing with you to keep you out, or is that just?
I don't know which way it was. I don't know. I just know that I started in there and I got that feeling of dread that I shouldn't be going, and I started getting sick, and that was one of my main hunting places. And every time I'd start to go in there for a little over a year, I think it was actually about 13 months, and then finally it just left. And after that, I've been in there 500,000 times. Well, not 500,000, but I've been in there a lot. Because that's one of my main hunting areas and one of my research areas.
Greg's laughing.
And that's also where we got some of the hair samples that we've had tested.
Greg.
Try, Greg.
Yes, sir.
What are you laughing at? You make me nervous when you laugh uncontrollably like that.
Well, Tim's delivery is just beyond reproach. It's just, he hadn't been there 500,000 times. Well, not 500,000, but maybe 300,000. That'd be
300,000.
Yeah,
at least
450,000.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it could be, but not 500,000.
So, I mean, you guys mentioned your spots that you go to all the time. Is there other spots that you've maybe visited once or twice that you really want to go back to, or someplace that you've heard has really great activity that you want to go check out?
We want to check it all out.
Oh, yeah.
We don't care where it is. If you set a sighting of creatures and you want somebody to come in and check it out, whether it be Bigfoot or cryptid creatures, UFOs, ghosts, just give us a holler. We'll check it out. We don't care.
Okay.
I didn't say nothing about no ghosts.
So wait, Tim. You'll go out and do the Bigfoot thing, but you won't do the ghost thing?
Well, I will, but I can shoot a Bigfoot. I can't shoot a ghost.
That is true.
No, Rob go chase those.
Mm-hmm. Me and Rob chased
bird.
one.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Where is this at?
Yeah, well, we were in Morganton, North Carolina. The gentleman that had George and I to come down and check the place out. It was a abandoned gas station where somebody supposedly got shot and killed in it. We did find some truth in what was going on. Not throwing rocks at anybody, but the gentleman that was our client. I'm just going to leave it at this. His elevator didn't go quite to the top floor.
Okay.
And we were able to disprove a lot of it.
Yeah.
Do you get that a lot where people tell you that, hey, there's activity around my area or whatever, this certain area, and they're just like you get out there and you're like, no, there's really nothing going on.
I've seen it. I did a few investigations before we got together as a team and everything, and I had a couple of friends that most of them were just, I think they got drunk and fell down and thought a ghost pushed them. But
Yeah.
one of them, I have to say, one of them was really truly creepy, and it freaked me out, and I wouldn't even go back over.
Really? Are you talking about Greg Ogle's house?
No, I'm afraid to go there. He knows he's muted.
Oh, he's not muted.
He's not muted.
That's
I
one
went
place.
to my buddy's house. It was an old house. It was over 100 years old. And
Really?
we went down to the basement, and someone had actually cut out little jail cells inside the granite and had bars on there. And inside the little cells were actually cuffs and everything where they'd been handcuffed to the walls. And we were sitting there, and all of a sudden it got cold. And the big old Rottweiler was about 200 pounds, started whining and backing up behind us.
Mm-hmm.
And his shadow come out of the cell and just stood there in front of us, had red eyes. As it started moving around, we went upstairs. The dog beat us. And we get all the way upstairs, and we look back, and this thing comes up through the stairs up to the living room and goes across the wall and goes up over our heads.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the house.
Yeah.
Sounds like one of my dates from the 90s.
That was the only one that's ever bothered me.
I was going to say the same thing, Greg.
I want to go.
Dated the same woman?
I think we dated the same woman.
We probably did.
So there's a place near here in Marthasville, Missouri called Emmaus Village. I was just down there last weekend with Haunted Soulz Paranormal. And a while back, Krista from Blondes and Booze, they were investigating, her and Terry Mosby were investigating. Greg, I think you know the story. And while they were walking around, they heard this howl from the woods, which was not too terribly far from where they were recording. And they sent it to Jesse and Joe from Hellbent Holler, and as well as some other people, and they confirmed that it wasn't an animal that they know of. So I mean, who knows what it could be? And Krista, that's by a road that Krista named Dogman Road because there's been a couple Dogman encounters out there. So there's a lot of thick woods out there. So you guys should maybe come out here and check it out. And if you do, I'll be here with you.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
After
George.
After watching Greg's movies, I want to go to Land Between the Lakes.
Yes.
That's somewhere where I ain't never been, but
It's an active area.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't never really. I'd heard about it, but I watched Greg's movies and that got me. I'll pack my fishing pole right now.
Awesome.
You can watch Greg's movies on Channel 12 TV network, by the way, and buy George Lunsford's books at Amazon.com. Oh, it's all commercial enough for you.
Thank you guys. And Jerry has the book. Awesome.
Yeah,
Everybody's got the books.
It's like you knew.
Yeah, I got stuff to promote too.
Uh-oh.
What?
Ultra moist.
There's a chance for the green room, Paul. That button comes in handy.
Okay, I have to say when we were when I met you guys in Townsend, we had an after party, and I learned so many new different phrases. I had to make a list because there's no way I would remember them. And after the show, I'll have to tell you some of the phrases that I learned. Greg knows him. He helped me write it. It was so funny. It was so funny. We had a question in here from Tennessee, Kentucky, Bigfoot, suggesting a place. I got a place for you, gentlemen, near Stearns, Kentucky. You'll love the activity. Have you guys ever been to Stearns?
Nope.
Nope, never heard tell of it.
This is fun.
Tennessee, Kentucky is one of my old fans, by the way, when I used to do podcast shows. Hello, Tennessee.
Really? He was on here not too long ago.
Sorry. But anyways, moving right along.
No, it was a very fun conversation with him and his son.
Well, you know, we had Natalie Sermon on our show last Thursday night.
Yeah.
Man, what a jewel to have on a show, bro.
Mm-hmm. She's actually coming on my show in 2 weeks. Yeah, May 31st, May 30th or 31st. Can't remember what day, but she will be on here as well.
That's cool.
So, yeah,
I have to watch. Yeah. I have to watch Natalie. I like Natalie. She's a good girl there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she's good enough to be on Greg's show, our show, in his movies. I mean, she's got to be a good one, right?
Excellent, absolutely. Greg's got the eyes. What's the eyes for, Greg? He went.
Oh yeah, she's on my show or on my film. Yeah,
he's scared to comment.
Well, like I said, when I found her, she was doing the pots and pans out in the woods.
That was her dancing.
That was her dancing. Yeah.
Natalie, I'm sorry. And thank you, Natalie, for reminding me about my own show that I didn't know the date. It's you're on the 31st, and again,
She's
BJ's in chat. She's going to be on next Saturday, so make sure that you guys are watching both weekends. You can watch more than just the weekends. You don't have to just watch those two. I mean, just keep coming back. It's fine. So, I mean, Tim, you mentioned LBL. Is there any place that you really want to go to? Any of you guys, that you want to go to? Any place that's on your bucket list?
If I could go anywhere, I'd go to Portlock, Alaska.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Portlock, Alaska.
I'd like to get down in
that would be a dream. Do what?
I was just going to say, I'd like to get down in those Sulphur River bottoms down there near Falk, Arkansas, in that area, in the area of Bog Creek, and go in on kayaks and camp deep in there. That's one of my bucket lists. Alaska is, of course, another one.
Yeah.
There's so many because I want to check everything out. I want to find a have a good visual encounter with a dog man. I want to encounter it all. I don't care if it's Mothman, Chupacabra, Loch Ness Monster. I want it all.
We've got a great site though in Tennessee. I'm not going to share the location. Yep. The lady told us that she had a dog man, Bigfoot, train sounds, ghosts, all kinds of things happening. And if you want to catch that, you're going to have to stay tuned and watch NCI, Channel 12 TV Network. I'm always giving us a shot, guys. But this is going to be great. It's going to be a live thing if we can get it done. And she claims the house is haunted, ghost, the whole 9 miles, all at one house.
That's true. That's true. We do want to go there. Mm-hmm. And then we got another place in Tennessee we want to go to. We know it's got activity.
Absolutely.
Another report here in St. Louis that there was a dogman sighting under the arch. I don't know the details, but I know there's right along the Mississippi there's, obviously there's the wooded areas on the Illinois side and south of the arch, but I can't remember where that report was. I'll have to look that up. But there was a dogman sighting underneath the arch. Granted, there's a lot of bars around there too. So I was
going to say
he can have a drink too.
Yeah. But I mean, there is a lot of wooded area, and of course the river's there. So I mean, who knows?
Nothing would surprise me anymore.
It was probably Dave Bruce after a couple cocktails.
That's probably the real reason why the Rams left. That they were didn't want the dogman to outdraw them.
Yeah,
but
Plus, he was better at football. So,
Probably. Then, yeah, you're right. So what you guys got coming up on your show? On your show. Can't talk
you
tonight.
know, I asked our producer.
Well,
Randy?
I would share it with you, but it would ruin it. So if you want to see what we got going on, subscribe to Channel 12 TV Network. It's $9.99, no contract, cancel at any time. Because I know every one of our shows is different. And I'll be honest with you, people watch our shows and go on our hunts. Or we say things and do things. They actually go in. So I try to keep it a secret. Everything's always a little new and always exciting. Always exciting. So
With these guys, yes, it's never a dull moment, I would think.
you ain't got the whole crew here either.
Yeah.
Give us a Boom Boom and Dave and Tracy and my grandson. Oh yeah, it's just
We just show up and find out who's babysitting us that week.
that's right.
Who's babysitting us that week?
Yeah, we gotta have one.
Natalie was our babysitter last Thursday night.
And she did a good job.
She did a damn good job.
Natalie's very
Yeah.
Natalie's very good. She's very professional, extremely well organized, and just built for this kind of stuff. You know, she's built for going out and investigating and just finding out whatever is out there. She's built for it. She's meant to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what confused us. We're not organized. We just kind of go in the woods and chase things. She has everything laid out. We're like,
If there's a Bigfoot in the woods, George will chase it. He's
So will
not
Tim.
scared. And so will Tim.
Well, you're supposed to. I mean, how you gonna get evidence of it if it takes off running if you don't try?
Rob
Between
will
that-
Rob will whack it in the ha-ha with a stick.
Oh,
I guess that's one way to disable it.
Well, I mean, you know.
hey,
Go
Paul.
ahead and tell him, boy.
No. That's your story. I'm not getting into that.
Hey, Paul.
Yep.
I will share the story with you right now. You can play the story.
Okay.
I will share the story with you. Let me find it.
See, George is scared. He's leaving already.
Oh, yeah. George knows what's coming.
I do.
Here you go. Play this video, and it'll explain what happened with the tree.
Son, I was having flashbacks of Mighty Python and Mountain Monsters all at the same time. We're walking up through there, right? Rob gets this giant stick to use for a walking stick, and it has a root ball about that big on the root. We get up there, and Tim's up front, and then Rob, and then me, because I'm always the back. Rob says, I'm going to knock his root ball off. And I'm like, what? The hog's back to swing and break that thing off, and I'm on the side where if it breaks off, it's going to hit me in the hoo.
You made Randy choke. Uh-oh, is he okay?
Oh,
Enough of that video.
oh, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah. We've got that. And that's what you get on Channel 12 when you watch the NCA guys. You never know who's going to who they're what. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm sorry. I was having flashbacks of Mountain Monster when he hit Will in the gonads with that stick. I'm sorry. I want that run through my mind.
Don't feel bad. I was having the same flashback because if Tim would have turned around at that same exact time and said, all right, you two, what are you down there hee-hawing about? That would have been it. You'd have carried me out of the woods and took me just as straight to the mental institution as you could take me because I'd have been done right there.
Yep.
But the crazy thing is, he broke that off, and we're standing there laughing, and because of what George said, and a rock comes in and lands right beside George. He about got hit. Was it 2 or 3 times that day? 5.
So,
Yep.
And I seen one of them miss his head by about that much.
It's about the size of a baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We're going to get Georgia
Oh,
helmet. Got to get
So
Georgia football helmet.
You're talking about getting hit in the hoo-hoos, and you get a rock thrown at you.
Mm-hmm.
Sure
Talk
did.
about hitting a guy when they're down. Jeez.
You tell me Bigfoot ain't got a sense of humor.
Tennessee, I think you're right. Who would want to go camping with these guys?
Appreciate it.
So
I would love to say that when we get in the woods, we're a lot more serious, but we're really not. We cut up, and I think that's the reason we have such good success, especially up in my areas where they're used to us coming up in there. We cut up and laugh and play. You ain't gonna sneak up on them, so they ain't no use of trying to do that. Right. So you might as well just have a good time, and we do take it serious, but we have a good time at the same time.
I think when it's about to hit the fan, I think that's when the seriousness would kick in. But you know, just like ghost hunting, if you're always asking the same questions and maybe not being yourself or not just sitting around having a good time, they might not try and make contact with you. So I mean, these two are very similar, I'm thinking.
Yeah, and we talk to them when we get in the woods too.
Yeah,
we'll tell them hello when we get there, and we'll talk to them as we're walking through the woods. A lot of times they'll parallel us, or they'll sit up on the hill, and you just hear them moving behind the laurels and watching us. And last time we was over in Tim's area, Tim got to see his first dogman print. I think Jerry got to see his first dogman print too, didn't you, Jerry?
I did. Yep.
And I actually found my first dogman print. That's the first one I'd ever found.
Wow.
So tell him about the guy that come around right after we found that dogman print, George. That guy that come around the trail.
All right. We was down in the woods. We found the dogman print, and I had the bright idea of hitting my frequency generator. So I run it down real low, and I brought it way up high and then back down again. And that set off a bunch of owls up in the woods up above us. The owls went crazy. I mean, they was just pitching a fit. And we went on up to the area we was going to, and this guy comes walking from that same area down this trail. And his eyes were about this big around, and he was skittish acting, real nervous acting. And usually if you run into somebody in the woods, you can talk for a minute or two, and everybody's good, and they go on. This guy didn't want no part of nobody. He was coming down. He was fidgety. He was nervous. And it was odd. I think we either run something over top of him or something scared him. But his eyes were he was scared to death.
Was that the first time you met Harley? Was that Harley?
No. First time we met Harley, we got Harley to sniff a piss post. He almost passed out.
I'm the only one laughing at that, but that's funny shit right there.
Well, we found this tree that the dogman or Bigfoot or somebody been peeing on. You could see it was black and stunk. Oh my Lord, it stunk. Well, Harley gets down and he gets real close to it, gets his nose about this close to it. He sniffed around going, hut, hut, but he wouldn't stop sniffing it. And Rob goes, should we push his nose in it?
Rub his nose in it.
Oh, Harley.
That's the reason why I nicknamed Harley the blue tick hound of the woods is on account of that.
Yep.
The one thing about the guy, we asked him if he heard the owls, and he had to hear them. I mean, there's no way that you couldn't have heard them, especially because they was right exactly where he come from. He said, well, I seen one fly, but I ain't heard nothing. Well, they was at least 100 yards away from us or more, and we heard them. Anybody that turkey hunts and stuff, when them owls get started up, you can hear them forever.
Yeah.
And for him to say that he didn't hear them, but he seen them, something wasn't stirring the Kool-Aid somehow or another.
No.
Stirring the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Crazy
He
boy
was-
Joey, how you doing?
Good, you?
Doing good. Thanks for jumping on here.
That's the youngest member of the NCI team.
Yeah.
How old are you, Joe?
We can't hear you,
Oh,
Joey.
Oh, 13. Sorry.
13? And,
Yep.
and you go out in the woods with these guys? I'd be scared to death.
Not yet. I do stuff by myself usually. Well,
Really?
kinda, in a way.
Yeah, he lives a little ways away from us.
Oh, okay. Where do you live, Joey?
Oh, I live in Indiana.
Oh, okay. So you're, well, let's say you're not really close to them at all.
But he's got a Bigfoot in his backyard.
You got a Bigfoot in your. Okay, let's hear about the Bigfoot in your backyard, Joey.
Yeah, I got a couple things in my backyard. I think I have a skinwalker there too. I hear like screaming and stuff from the woods behind my house. I mean, at first I was like, okay, because there's a guy that lives behind the woods, but then I realized he's only got grandsons, not granddaughters, and it's little girl screams I hear.
Really?
Yeah, and there's nobody else back there that has a little, like, any kind of little girl.
Joey, lower your camera down. I'm looking at your light. You're hurting my eyes.
Sorry, I don't have my computer. I'm on my phone.
I'm having a small stroke.
Hey, that's a
Sorry,
quicker way to
I'm
do
not on my
that.
computer.
What'd you say, Tim?
I was going to tell Joey that's a quicker way to get to inheritance. Keep turning that up towards July.
No, Joey went in his backyard at the park and took the whole team out in the field.
Yeah, there's
his camera. Well, tell him what's out there.
Yeah,
what's out there?
So the backyard where I have the potential skinwalker and the Bigfoot is at my mom's house, and the Bigfoot's actually, he's weird. He's like a little creep. He comes up and like he'll tap on my window at night.
Is it George?
Yeah, because like you know how on glass you could tell the difference between like a finger or anything else, like if it was like a tree or something, you could tell the difference. It's a finger touching the glass, and even if it was something else, there's nothing anywhere near any of my other windows that could be
How
that
high up is
the
that
window.
How high up is that window?
The window itself is like a good 2 or 3 feet up, but where it's tapping is like the middle of the window, so that's like 5 feet up.
Wow.
The only thing that's anywhere near that height is this little plant that's maybe 2 feet from my window,
So
and it's only at my like chest, and I'm like 5'2", so it's probably 3 foot something.
Yeah.
So it's not tapping on my window.
So, Joey, is this what got you into this stuff? Having a motorcycle go through your house, apparently.
That was actually my house.
Oh. So no, I mean, what got you interested in this as a 13-year-old? You said.
Yeah, I turned 14 in July 6th.
Happy birthday! A little bit
Thank
early.
you.
But sure.
I think his buddy George Lunsford really got him into this.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
he was having some problems around his house, and Joey and I called George, and George says, "I think you've got Bigfoot." And then after that, I mean, he was out with a camera showing us all the tree breaks and the tree standing up like teepees in his backyard. And
oh yeah. So at my dad's house, well, okay, first the Bigfoot first came when we had chickens, and eventually, the first couple times chickens went missing, it was nothing weird. The first time it was a raccoon, because raccoons will usually break the neck and then eat what they can, and that's what was happening. and then it was a mink, because minks will eat the breast and then leave the rest. That rhymed. And
Oh,
the
that was
third
a poet.
time, though,
You've been hanging around with these guys way too much.
the third time, though, something picked the bricks off of the nesting box, laid them in a straight line next to the coop, and then like reached its arm in there and just grabbed them out of the nesting box and then left. And the nesting box is wide open.
Wow.
And these aren't like bricks, like they're cinder blocks like this big that are like concrete.
Yeah. So it couldn't be a raccoon that moves that stuff.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Yep. And then at my dad's house, where I'm at right now, that's why I don't have like my computer or my speakers or anything. Down at the park down the street is where I had my second ever Bigfoot encounter. We were playing flashlight hide and go seek at night, which probably wasn't the best idea because the park's surrounded by woods.
Probably not a great idea when there's Bigfoot or Dogman or skinwalkers around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were doing that, and then from the woods, I heard like, have you ever heard like during a storm where like a branch off the tree will break and it'll fall?
Yeah.
That's what I heard. Like that's what I heard. Like a big branch was like pulled off, and it like dropped. And you heard like the boom, and I was like, "Did you guys hear that?" To my friends, one of them said they did, and the other two said they didn't. And so I was like, okay. So I was just sitting there seeing like what it could be. And then this like 8 to 9 foot tall thing walks out. It's pure dark. It's black out. So I couldn't really see, but it had white eyes or like white and yellow eyes. And it just walks out and then stares at me. And when I tell you, I turned around and ran. I've never ran that fast in my life.
Really?
If I could run that fast every day, I would probably be like a professional track star.
Wow.
Because I ran almost a block away in seconds.
See, all you need is Bigfoot to chase you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Another Jesse Owens.
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
And then after that, when I came back, we went down to a church party because it was across the street. And when we were walking over, again, there's woods surrounding us. And I hear like a howl. I was like, okay, it's probably a coyote. Because there's coyotes in woods, and we're in Indiana, there's coyotes and there's all sorts of stuff. But then I looked, and again, these like eyes just staring at me. I'm like, what is this? Because it didn't look the same though. So it was two different things. I know that. But yeah, this thing's crouched over in the woods staring at me. I was like, yeah. I've never went back to that park at night alone. Actually, no, I've never went back to that park at night since then at all.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know that I would either.
Yeah, the latest I've been at that park was probably like 6 o'clock to like 4 hours before it gets dark. Or actually, like, 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I leave because I'm like,
yeah.
Not unless all the people are there. If there's people I know that are there, maybe. But no.
That's scary for an adult. I mean, at 13 years old, I would be terrified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but at this point, it's not. Sorry, I'm getting up to go grab my glasses because I can't see anything.
I know I might not have a stroke from you moving. I was wondering why you didn't have your glasses on.
I'm getting motion sickness.
I am too.
I don't have my computer or anything, so this is gonna like suck. My graph will probably suck too. But
you're fine. You're fine.
At this
Joey,
point,
the show's only an hour and a half long. Come on now.
Oh,
Skip to the
sorry.
story here.
Hey, I joined an hour late because I was eating.
We
At
can't
this
help
point,
you there.
though,
You got to eat. You got to eat.
it's not really scary for me anymore because I just think it's interesting at this point. I'm really hoping whatever that was a dog man because I mean
No, you don't.
No,
I don't know. I don't know many
many
people that have seen one, but
Yeah, because they
also
haven't lived to
sometimes-
tell the story.
because they don't. Yeah, they don't live to tell the story. You don't want to see a dog man.
exactly. So if it was, I'm lucky, and if it wasn't, I'm still lucky because I didn't die.
Well, there you go.
So either
There
way,
you go.
I'm lucky.
There you
No,
go.
you could just run faster than we can.
Yeah.
That's why you take
Maybe.
your grandpa, you shoot him, kick him in the knee, and run. He's done. You get away.
He don't even got to shoot me. He can get away. Oh.
And you don't have to be the fastest one, just faster than the slowest person, there. So, I mean, you'd be fine.
That's right. That's why we
Big
take
rock.
Rob. Try to shoot him in the leg.
Be like my daughter said, I don't have to be the fastest because I'm the best pusher of the bunch.
Of course, Rob,
Oh.
you have to watch him with that stick. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
But
get me.
I really think the reason it didn't do anything was because it was at the very edge of the woods, and right at that area, there's a big road, and it's all lit up, and there's cars going back and forth. And I was with like 5 or 6 other people, and we all had our flashlights on and stuff. So I
Yeah.
really think it could have just been like it just turned. It was watching me, and then it just turned around and walked away or ran away. Yeah, that was weird.
I like this. What Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot's a great hobby for kids. Bigfoot researching, camping, thinking critical, good stuff. I agree.
I do too.
Maybe not necessarily going in the woods by yourself at that age, but
No,
yeah, that's pretty darn good.
too.
I mean, not smart to do when you're an old fogey like we are, like you guys are, because I haven't been out in the woods.
Oh, did you see how he picked that? He said, "Old guys, I've never been."
I noticed that. I did.
Little shift. Tell us how you really feel, Paul.
Hey, if you guys get me out there, I'd be the slowest one around. I can't run anymore, so you guys would be fine. I'd be the goner.
I tell you, I'd only shoot you in one knee.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Make sure you hit me in the left knee. So, look, Harley's in chat. Harley, you're missing this, brother. But
our little brother is in chat.
Little brother Harley, who ain't so little.
No,
We'll take Paranormal Paul up on Boar Tree.
yeah,
We'll break him in right.
there you go.
Oh,
Why does that scare me when you say take me up on a boar tree? I don't know that I like the sound of that.
You ever seen
It's
Deliverance?
only angled like this
Yeah, no.
for about 5 miles.
Oh, so basically, what
Both ways, right?
what you're saying is I need to start training for this now and maybe go out there, next summer.
Oh, you're in a lot better shape than I am. You're all right.
No, no.
That's when we've seen the 7-foot and the little one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to get out with you guys. Yeah.
And that's also where George about got hit upside the head too.
Yeah.
And in the hoo-hoo.
Yeah. It was a bad place.
That sounds. You need to wear a cup and a helmet.
Yep.
That's for sure. Well, the bad part was we're coming back down. I was like, okay, Rob, be careful right here. Got Rob down this little hill because he was having a hard time that day. And dang, if I didn't fall and slide down on my back.
Oh, that's awesome stuff.
We have a good time.
Yeah. And it's a great time with you guys on here. And, like I said before, meeting most of you on the screen here, it wasn't last Sunday, it was a couple Saturdays ago. It was great meeting you guys finally in person. always a fun time chatting with you guys. So I greatly appreciate you guys coming on here tonight. I needed this laugh today, and I hope everybody in chat enjoyed it as well. So, and Harley, you should have been here, buddy.
It's all right, you missed it all.
Oh well. But guys, again, thank you for coming on here. And Randy, give us a plug one more time.
Channel 12 TV network, the largest streaming TV network in the United States right now. You can catch the NCI guys, Tracy Jones's Paranormal Witch, Crazy Boy Joey's new show, The Joey Show. We have great TV movies, cartoons. We do it all. If you're going to see Channel 12, guys, you got to subscribe. It's $9.99 a month. No contracts. You can cancel at any time. And this, what you guys saw tonight, is just a little smidge what really happens on Channel 12. Because we're uncut, we're unedited, we're unscripted, and we're raw. So what you see is what you get.
When you buy clarinet. What was that? Clarinet. It's not clarinet because you don't play. Anyway. Okay, guys, go to Channel 12.
He's a piccolo from way back.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks again for coming on here. In just a few minutes, what time is it? Actually, in 2 minutes, head on over to Texas Front Porch. I believe Texas is going on here pretty soon. So, guys, have a great night. Real quick, I want to thank Amy. I didn't put this on the screen before because I couldn't get the chat to show up. But Amy, thank you very much for gifting 5 new members. I appreciate you very much. And thank you all for watching. Again, remember, Saturday night, I have BJ LaPier coming on. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a lot of fun and talking about all kinds of fun stuff with BJ. So everybody have a great night, and we will catch you later.
Thank you.
I got to hit the outro right.
This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution.